Today we're talking about the area of trapezoids. A trapezoid is the type of quadrilateral, meaning it has four sides. And a trapezoid, it has a set of parallel lines. So when you see it, only two are parallel, like these two here, the bases, which means that they never touch. Parallel kind of go on forever and never touch each other. And then a set of perpendicular where eventually they will intersect. So the area for a trapezoid is right here. Area is the product of 1/2 the height times the sum of the bases. So 1/2 height times sum, which is addition of the two bases, base 1 and base 2. So for someone it might be a little daunting because you see a fraction here, the 1/2, and different type of variables or letters, h and this time 2b's. But it's very similar to any other area formula where you just identify each part, each symbol, and then just plug it in. We call it a plug and chug. So let's say you're very scared about how to start this. What I would do, I would write the formula here as I've done already. Drop the 1/2, leave the h, the height blank, parentheses, drop the b, leave the blank, plus blank, close parenthesis. So from this point, you look at your trapezoid, your figure, and you identify what's what. So I see 3 different numbers here in feet. So 2 bases, 1 height. If you get confused, you can think of the base as almost flat, as in like a base of like a house or something, usually flat foundation. And height, think about height, like how tall you are. Height is up and down. So when we look at this figure, we know that height is up and down. So this is most likely our height. So let's go with here. 6 feet would be h for height. And base 1 and base 2, it doesn't matter which one you pick as long as you know that they're both your bases and they're both a base, B1, B2. So let's go. This would be our base 1 for now. This would be our base 2. So we identified our height, a base 1 and a base 2. All we really have to do now is plug it into the formula. So as we did here earlier, we dropped the 1/2. And h, our height, is 6 feet. So we'll put a 6 in here. Times the sum of the two bases, base 1, 5, plus base 2, which is 9. Now all you really gotta do is follow PEMDAS. If this throws you off, or what I like to do is put more parentheses here to indicate multiply, so you don't get confused. So 1/2 times 6, and remember, follow PEMDAS, so you don't do anything here yet. You do parentheses first, right? So the sum of 5 and 9 will give you 14. And the nice part about this is you can multiply however you want. You can multiply the 14 and 16. You could just do the formula and just do 1/2 of the height. Or you could do half of 14 and multiply by 6. But let's follow the formula for now. 1/2 of the height, half of 6 is 3 times 14, which you can do the work right here if you want. You have extra space. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 1, 3 plus 1 should give you 42. So that's basically all you have to do for that problem. So your area, your final answer will be area of this trapezoid, 42, and don't forget your measurements in units, feet, because it is area, it will be squared. And that'll be how you solve area of a trapezoid. It might seem a little confusing because there's so much, but like anything, especially with area and formulas, memorize the formula, keep it down, make sure you don't forget it, and then identify your sides, and just plug it in. We call it a plug and chug for a reason. You just identify, plug in the numbers here, and chug it out, just kind of solve for it. So let's try example 2. This one's a little more scary because it has decimals, and it kind of looks like we cut out the triangle, right? So I like to always start by writing down the formula first and foremost. You don't have of writing it down, so you kind of memorize it. 1/2 of the height, the product 1/2 the height times the sum of the two bases. So now we have that down. Let's identify our sides so we could solve. So like I said, up and down is height. This one here, 5 meters, would be the height. And let's say we want the top to be our base 2. Let's see if that changes anything. 11.5 be base 1. So now we identified everything. Plug it all into this equation. So the area equals 1/2 times the height, which is 5. Let's do parentheses so we know we're multiplying, they're not connected, times the sum of base 1, 11.5, plus base 2, 8.5. We're lucky here because they're 0.5, so you kind of already know what that is going to be. So area 1/2 times 5 times the sum of this, which should give you 20. So you could do half of 5, which would be 2.5, or you could do half of 20, which is 10, or you can multiply it all out and get 100 and divide that by 2. So I like to make things easy for me, so I would just do the 20 here. So we keep the 5, you do half of 20, which is 10, and that should give you 50 meters squared. And if you think I'm crazy for doing that, or if I did something wrong, let's do it the usual way. So we do 1/2 of 5, which is 2.5 times 20. So 2.5 times 2 will give you 5, add a 0, 50. If you don't believe me, 0 here, 10, 0, 0. That gives you 500. One decimal place with a 2.5 right there, 50. So 50 meters squared here, we did it this way. 50 meters squared there, we did it that way. So area 50 meters squared. So if you're very confused, try it by yourself and kind of do the formula, memorize it, identify your sides, and you should be good to go. Just keep practicing, and you shouldn't have any difficulties. If you do, work through it, and over time you'll be good. So I hope this helped you, and thank you for tuning in.